I always think to myself, like, what's your plan? What do you want to be? Where do you want to go in your life? And it's crazy the amount of pressure we put ourselves under. We're always destined to be something that we feel we have to be, to cater to what people want. We never feel that sense of freedom that we used to have when we were younger. We always feel that we have to be something constantly, and it sucks. I remember one time, me and my friends had planned to go on holiday. The night before, we're all ready, we've got our stuff, we planned to get up at 5 a.m. Our flight was like 8 a.m, I think, and you have to get there a couple hours before. So in the morning we wake up, we're driving there. We had like two groups of people, so one other group were already at the airport a little bit before us. And then there was another group that was already on the plane as we were driving. So we were like, oh shit. So we get to the airport, we go through customs, and we're running. We run to this door where our plane's meant to be. The doors are like slammed shut, and they have been for like 10 minutes. But we're like, no, this can't be happening to us. How is this happening to us? Open the doors. But we're like, yeah, no, they can't do that. So we end up having to pay an extra £80 for a flight that was in 12 hours after we got there. So some people went back home. Some of us stayed at the airport. And we were like, why are we staying at the airport for another 12 hours? But I'm glad I did, because we spent that whole 12 hours playing games in the airport, walking around and just talking shit. And that was almost the best part of the holiday. Just sitting there with nothing to do, just chatting shit with your friends. And sometimes I feel like memories are based on those sort of situations where one moment you'll plan to do something that you expect to be so great, but something comes along and that's the thing you remember most, the randomness of it. And it keeps you looking back at it and smiling. And those are the sort of situations that I feel like are the best ones. They're the ones that you don't expect. And that's why they're so great in our minds and continue to stay there.
I think the best thing about being my age is that I'm still in the epitome of youth that the 20s are referred to as. I've still got everything ahead of me, as much as it may feel like I don't. You know, with all these people coming up when they're like 15 and whatever. It's hard to understand that you've got time, but I am in my youth. You know, I try to act as if I'm on my deathbed as an old man and I've been transported back to 20 and I'm ecstatic. It's awesome, and you know, I love that. I just gotta harness it, is all. I hate that we all see everything all the time. Through our screens, we are so well informed, so easily misled. We know everything, and if we don't, it's just a tap away. Which of course has its benefits and beauty, but man, I just feel like we are all the same versions of each other. We are all byproducts of this culture, instead of the culture being a byproduct of us. I'd just love to meet someone who I feel like I haven't seen a version of on screen, on Instagram or on YouTube or whatever. And with all of this comes a loss of romance and connection that I find hard growing accustomed to, and incorporating that into my own ideals of connection and romance. I'm very scared that I'll never have a genuine connection with someone again. I'm scared I'll just keep hoarding people I've loved and lost until they're haunting me and I can no longer function. I'm scared that I'll disappoint my younger self, or that I won't rise to meet the best version of me that I know is there. I'm also scared that no one will ever see me. Like, actually see me. God, I wish I knew where I fit in society. I feel like I've been trying so hard to find a place, but no one will meet me halfway and give me a chance. I more and more believe over time that are only places by ourselves, and everything else is not real or a distraction. I do think I believe that, but that's not to say I'm comfortable with it, because I'm definitely not. Right now, the most important thing to me is for things to feel special again, and for that feeling of magic not to be an overly romanticized distraction that I use to make me forget I'm alone. It should just be like that. So that's what I'm trying to work towards. The most important thing for me is to feel inspired, and for that not to mean that I feel sad, because when I'm sad, I'm not motivated and nothing comes of it.
There's times where I worry I'm missing out as the world moves so quickly. Moments of joy come and go. You never seem to think in those moments that you'll be looking back, remembering the joy you've had. I guess that's how memories work. We remember the best things and the greatest days. The memories we hold on to are the ones our brain subconsciously captures to keep us holding on, keep us going.
This stage of my life feels like the beginning of something, you know? Because I think at this stage, like at this age, many people are not only trying to figure out who they are, but trying to decide who they want to be. And I feel like I've thought a lot about that, and I think it's probably time to put in work quite soon. You know, not just talking about it, but being about it as well. And, you know, you should just try to grow every day and try to not focus on the negative so much. So I think, yeah, I mean, the best time is always now, ultimately. And that's how I feel. I think I fear the possibility of losing touch with oneself and, you know, getting stuck in some shitty ass job. And then 40 years later, you realize that, oh, I just wasted my entire life on this horrible job just to earn a little bit more money, you know? So I think I fear the possibility of not following my own ambitions and doing what I think will benefit myself and other people the most, you know? I hope to, you know, I hope I have some sort of perspective and some sort of knowledge the fact that everything is going to be all right and that everything is perfect. You know, the world is beautiful, and I hope to remember that. I think for the future, I can only dream of people being more open-minded, because that's the key. I think in order to grow, we need to learn things from different cultures and different ways of living. And I think we can't grow as people if we stick to the same traditions and notions every day. We need to partake in other things. And I really hope that people will be more and more open-minded and more accepting. And I think they already are. But we should always strive for the best and make this world a better place. So, I think it's important to be naive to a certain degree. And I think, I think the future, more people, less ignorance and stupidity, like less racism and sexism and all of that. And, a lot of people are are going vegan or whatever. I think just a more conscious world would be wonderful, and I think we're heading for that direction already, slowly but surely. I think a lot of people tend to lose a lot of their ambitions as they get older, and maybe they start to take things a bit too serious. And it's good to take things serious to a certain degree, but I think one needs to be a bit naive in order to really pursue one's dreams and such. And I think at this present moment, I'm fairly motivated and willing to pursue whatever I want to do in life. And hopefully that will still be the case in a couple of years. But I think ambition is makes this stage of my life good. But I do think I think the biggest problem in the world is ignorance, in a sense. And I think this is getting better with our generation and generations to come. But I think ignorance is probably the biggest, problem in the world. And selfish ways of thinking and seeing things. And I think we really need to get away from that. And it's getting better, but it's still pretty bad. I'm not really sure where I fit in society. But I don't know really. I grew up as a skater, and I think as a skater, you're an outcast of sorts. Like I was the type of kid that never was good at football. Like never good at sports, or any of that stuff. And I think skateboarding kind of shows you that it's all right to be an outcast, and it's pretty cool too.
I just want to be stable, you know. I hope that I can have a job that I can hold down that can pay for me to have somewhere to live and, you know, be in a position where I am enjoying most of my days. I don't particularly know right now if I enjoy most of my days. I think there's two parts of me. I think there's definitely two sides of me. Then there's the one that thinks I haven't and probably won't become an adult properly. But then there's part of me that thinks I did really grow up quite a bit when I left home. You know, living by myself for the first time. And I kind of just had to do all these things that had been done for me before. And I knew how to do them. It was just the first time I'd ever had to put anything into practice, and it was scary. You know? I don't particularly know exactly the person I am today, but I can definitely trace back my path that has gotten me to this point. You know, I was 13 in school trying to impress a girl, and I don't particularly have a very large group of friends, you know. I have a small group of maybe 4, 5 people that I am very close with, and I'd like to think that I'll be friends with them in 10 years, because I don't particularly make new friends fast, you know.
Lo que más odio de este mundo es la falta de empatía. No somos capaces de ponernos en la piel del otro. Y yo creo que por eso es que hay racismo, homofobia, machismo. Si fuésemos capaces de tratar a los demás como queremos que nos traten, en este mundo no habría ni la mitad de problemas. Yo creo que lo mejor de nuestra edad es sin duda alguna la cantidad de energía que tenemos. Somos capaces de hacer todo lo que nos proponemos. Y otra cosa buena es que nos es muy fácil relacionarnos con la gente. Da igual con quién estés o dónde estés, es muy fácil hacer amigos y nuevas amistades.
Atingir um certo ponto de maturidade. Ser capaz de discernir o que pode criar cicatrizes para o resto da minha vida. Eu moro em um país onde toda desigualdade é encontrada. Aqui, se você quer saúde, educação e segurança, você deve pagar. Eu acho que terei boas lembranças. Quando o tempo passa, geralmente romantizamos o passado e certamente veremos esse tempo com bons olhos e saudades. O meu grande medo é de não ter sucesso, de não ser capaz de alcançar os meus objetivos. Eu espero em 10 anos ser professor ou cineasta. O que eu sonho para o futuro, eu sei que aqui no Brasil as coisas não devem mudar. Então, quem sabe, eu poderia estar em outro lugar, ensinando e filmando. Eu me encaixo naqueles que hoje são chamados de sonhadores. Isso vai além do pragmatismo da rotina, do trabalho como fonte de vida. Eu prefiro prestar atenção aos detalhes que são atingidos por aqueles que estão focados em metas. E a coisa que eu acho mais importante, a natureza e os filmes.
I didn't think I'd be like this. Like if you asked me 2 years ago if I thought stability was the most important thing to me, I'd be like, hell no. I want adventure. I want to go fucking crazy. Now I think all I really want is for nothing really to change. Except for the good stuff. I want it to change for good, but not for bad. That's pretty basic. It's good. Life is good right now.
Comparing yourself to anyone in any situation is never a good thing, because you aren't that person and you've grown up with different experiences to them and you have different memories to them. So it doesn't make sense to ever compare yourself to anyone. So why do we always feel like we have to?
We forget the beauty of the reality. We spend all this time trying to become someone or something, and we lose sight of what made us the someone or something we are. Whatever I do, wherever the future takes me, I'm still me, you know.
I've been thinking about today, and I don't know. I never know what I'm talking about. I used to think that one day I'd know things and be confident about them. And the confidence definitely is there, but all the time I just find myself being schooled on topics by other people, and it's like, oh my god, I had no clue what I was talking about, and I thought I knew everything. It's honestly amazing to me how little I know at 22 years old. I know nothing, man. I know God. And it seems that every day something changes, and something where it was like, oh well, I really based some foundation of my life and the way that I live my life on this fact that was just proven wrong. It's a really weird, ever-changing world. I find my niece, who's 6 years younger than me, is completely different than me, more well-read, feels this empowerment that I don't necessarily feel anymore. And it's like, holy crap, you should be president, man. You're 16 years old. You should be president. You're so much smarter than me. And then I've got a brother who's 11 years older than me. And so I feel like trapped between these two different generations. These people who are getting used to technology and grew up with like a dinosaur computer, and my parents who don't even know how to turn on a TV without me. Seriously, they call me, they ask me to turn on their television, and it's like 2 steps, and they have so much trouble with it. And then there's my niece and my nephew who's 10, and they don't know life without a cell phone and the world in their pocket. And I think about how it's so natural for them. Just everything in this technological world is so natural. And I really feel a divide between myself and everyone around me who isn't within like a year of my age. It's kind of marveling, just in general, looking at all of the things around us. I think so much about how we have only been able to fly for a little bit more than 100 years, and then we went to the frickin' moon, and now we have this computer in our pocket that is millions of times more complicated than the computer that took a person to the moon. And it feels like all this technology is just rapidly and exponentially getting more sophisticated. And I think about what will be my TV? What will be the thing for my kids that comes so naturally to them that I can't turn on? I don't know how to use. Am I going to be left in the dust in like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? God, man. I am between 2 generations of these kids who grew up with phones in their pockets and in the world at their fingertips. And I got my first phone in like 6th grade, 7th grade. So before then, I would just ride around on my bike and be outside and talk to people and have the same friends. And then suddenly, all my friends are playing Xbox and they can talk to each other and they can meet each other across town, and friendships spawned that way. And so I got to see these 2 sides of life, and it's deeply affected me because I'm pulled in both directions at the same time, and I see value in both. And I'm not sure what life is like for kids who are just a little bit younger than me. I hate how disconnected a lot of people feel. Often when I talk to people, I don't feel like really sophisticated and uncomfortable conversation is something that is seeked out by many people my age, or for that matter, anyone, especially in America. I mean, I don't know other countries, but if someone is a Republican and someone is a Democrat, it seems like they can't talk whatsoever, when really they have so many things in common. And I don't know, polarization just blows me away. And like the difference between my life and my brother's life and my niece's life, and how we're just, 10 years apart or 6 years apart, it just makes a huge world of difference. Right now, oh my God, I'll remember everything. God, I just moved out to a new place 4,000 miles away from my home, and I'm with these wonderful people, and we do stupid stuff all day, and all of these stupid things. I'm in this rambunctious, crowded house with people who I absolutely love and enjoy, and it feels like another family, and I feel in control of my life and everything. And oh God, I've never felt like this before. I went to college kind of just to get a degree because that's what you're supposed to do, and now I'm out here and it feels like everything's open, and I've never had that feeling before. And so I'm enjoying it so much. It's almost overwhelming. I'm just going to remember all those little stupid things. I go over to my friend's house. We jump in the pool. We'd stay up until 3 a.m. talking about, I don't even remember. It doesn't even matter. It's just really nice to be around all these people who have all these dreams and being inspired by them. Obviously, there are bad things about the world, like, hey, look at all of these issues that are very big concerns and threats to ways of life and nature and animals and starvation and everything. And it feels really empowering to be around all these people with dreams and who have hopes to fix them. And seeing my niece and nephew and just caring so much. I'm afraid that I'll die right now. I think that's probably my biggest fear. And it's simply because I've spent so much of my life preparing for the rest of my life. And I didn't really have a choice in the matter. It's like, hey, you gotta go to middle school, you gotta go to high school, you gotta go to college to prepare you. So I've spent 22 years preparing for what will set me up for the future. And I've always worried that would not exceed the time. Like, what am I preparing for if I die right now? I haven't done nearly the amount of things that I want to do. It's unbelievably scary to me if I were to die right now, because all of my dreams would be unfulfilled. It's not even that. It's I wouldn't be able to try to fulfill any of my dreams. And that is such a scary thought. I want to be able to help other people, and I've just been a drain on everything. On my parents to go to college. I haven't really contributed much. Like, that's the problem being a kid. You just feel so powerless all the time, and you're on the same track as everybody else. At least, the lucky people get to be on this schooling track and this preparation. But I feel like sometimes like a slab of deli meat, where I just come out and it's like, yeah, I look like all these other people, and here's my resume, and here's everything that I have, and I haven't done anything. It's like, man, I really wish sometimes that I spent those years doing something else. And so I'm really afraid that I won't be able to spend the rest of my years doing something that I truly love and be able to help people. Yeah. I want to just really enjoy my life and just, keep making these memories with people and make people smile and somehow scrape off some of the suffering that is happening in the world and turn it into happiness and be able to help. If I was able to do a lot of that in the next 10 years, I would be completely fulfilled. I hope I have at least 20 jobs by the next 10 years because I just want to learn about everything. I hope that the future is nice. I know that I know that new problems will arise and some will get solved, and friendships will go away, new friendships will come. But I really just hope that I'm in a place where I can do something about the things that I care about. I really, really want that to happen. But if it doesn't, hey, I hope I have my surfboard and my guitar and can speak still and talk with people. I don't really feel that I fit within society as I think of it. Society is an odd thing to me because it feels like it's this thing that wants you to be a certain way, and I want to be a lot of different people and just experience what it's like being a part of these different groups. I've always felt like a puzzle piece that doesn't really fit in a specific place, but kind of fits in all over the puzzle, you know? Because I think of myself that way, like just kind of like this chameleon that goes into a group and allows the group to tell me their outlook on life and love that for what it is and incorporate what I love about it into my own life. I think that's one of the most beautiful parts of being alive. I think it develops your personality and what you love and who you are. And I think if you fit in a certain place in society, then you're probably content, but you're probably not seeing some of the most beautiful places because you're in that one puzzle piece place. The most important thing to me is being able to be with people that I care about and experience the world.
The thing about memories is like like the ones that are like shameful and painful, those are the ones that are like usually coming back, like when you're in bed like trying to sleep by yourself and it's like popping up some bad memory, like something like really embarrassing you did a couple of years ago, and that shit just plagues you all fucking night and you can't sleep, you're just in pain, like fuck, that shit was me back then, you know? Damn, I hate that shit. But yeah, there are, there are like, good memories too. Like, I have a lot of good memories with my friend Gustav. Like, yeah, like, me and Gustav, we have like a really stupid humor, I guess. Like, we laugh about like so stupid stuff all the time. Like once we were like at an Asian restaurant and we have like, this is really weird, but we have this standard joke about like the word spaghetti because we think the word spaghetti is fun. Like, yeah, that's how fucked up our humor is, I guess. But yeah, and there was like Gustav was eating like noodles and I don't know what I was eating, like some chicken or something on this Asian restaurant then. And then there was like an Asian father and his little like 3-year-old son. No, wait, probably like 7-year-old son like sitting behind us. And then the 7-year-old son like comes up to Gustav and goes like, "Look, Dad, look, he's eating so much, so much, so." And then he just like meets Gustav's eyes with his eyes. They just meet, and then the little kid like runs back to his dad, like scared of Gustav's like gaze, and he goes to his dad like, so much spaghetti, like right in his ear. And yeah, that was so funny. Me and Gustav, like, we were laughing like 1 hour after that happened. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Like seriously, it doesn't really sound that fun. Like I understand if this doesn't sound fun at all. Like we just have that stupid kind of humor. I guess it's just like humor that is fun because we have like talked about really stupid stuff so much that it eventually turns out fun, but actually it's not so fun at all. um yeah, like I have a really funny memory from this summer that I usually like think about and it just brings a smile to my face. Like I was really interested in this one girl and um yeah, and like we have just like we had met like a couple of times and I had like a crush on her like from a year before. And yeah, this one particular day, like I had been at the studio like recording like I was with my rapper friends, like they were recording songs and stuff. And yeah, so we blazed a lot like outside the studio like before we recorded and stuff. So I was really high. I was pretty high, like. And yeah, and after the studio session, like I was just on my way home, and my friend Clara, she was like calling me and like yeah. So this girl I had a crush on, her name was Ellen. So Clara called me like, hey, yeah, we're going to go to the sauna tonight, and Ellen is gonna come, and you should definitely be there. Like she told me that she has a crush on you, but she thinks that you're not like giving her enough attention or something like that. Not exactly like that, but I don't know. And I was like, shit, I have to be there. I really have to be there. So I just took my bicycle right away, and I took my bicycle and rode like, and that is like one European mile. So then I was just like cycling out there, like the fastest I could, and I don't really remember so much of like going out there because I was just like so high. I was like in a dream state, and sometime like during that bicycle ride, like I just realized that I didn't use my hands like when bicycling, and I've always used my hands because like I'm too afraid to just let go of the steering wheel, you know. So and so just like because I was like high and didn't know what I did, like that's the day like when I learned that I could bicycle without my hands. So that's really stupid. And then I turned up at the sauna and like we were like sitting in the sauna, and this was like at the autumn, so it wasn't really so warm outside, but we were like swimming in the ocean anyways, and it was like a super nice sunset and everything. Um Yeah, and I was really in love, and like on the way home, she also had her bicycle and stuff. So we like walked with our bicycles home, like just we two, and then I like confessed to her like, "Hey, I've had a crush on you for like 1 year." And she was like, "Yeah, me too." And yeah, that was really cool. All right. Story time is over. I think society makes it way too easy to grow up. Like or like I don't know what society is supposed to mean, but society like society is like the watching eye above us, like kind of. And um they want everyone to grow up, like because if no one grow up, like then who would do the works and stuff. Society wants me to grow up and like act like a grown up, pay my taxes, do my shit, like do something for the society. But Um, like, what if everyone just like stayed kids throughout their life? Like, how bad could it be? I don't know. I just know like that old people who maintain like a a childlike spirit, they're the best old people alive. Moments that I live now that I don't really like think about, like just sitting out on the balcony with my girlfriend smoking cigarettes, or like just laughing with friends, having fun. Um, yeah, like small moments that I don't really think about when I'm in them, but maybe when I'm a lot older, I might remember those much more than like those big highlights, like being on the concert of my favorite artist or something. Like, I actually like miss a lot. Like last year, I was hanging out a lot with my classmate Eric, who actually lives a hella long way away from here. So I haven't seen him for a while. But when we hanged out a lot, we used to drive his car and like listen to stupid songs like the Venga Boys. Boom, 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 boom. I want you in my room. Dun, 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 dun. Like, and we just laugh our asses off, and it's just feel like the greatest time. And I didn't think so much about it back then, like, but now I miss it so much. Like, we could just sit down at McDonald's or something and just laugh our asses off. Like, during the whole like 1 hour we sat there and ate, we just continuing laughing like the whole time. And that's just really nice. Like, I could be in a really bad mood, but then when I was with him, like, the bad mood would just like disappear. There's a character in Twin Peaks called Major Briggs, and he gets the same question once, I think. Is it Major Briggs? I think it's Major Briggs, and he gets the question like, what do you fear most? And he's like, the possibility that love is not enough. I just think that's so fucking good. And I agree. Like, I just heard someone, I think it was a teacher or something, that said like, they valued friendship equally to like how we nowadays value love, the feeling of love. And I just thought like, whoa, so love hasn't always had the same kind of big importance as it has in the culture today. And I just thought about like, yeah, of course, like love is extremely important, but where's the limits? Like, what can we do with that? With the bonds between people. I don't know. I just think it's important to know that you could never like fully understand someone else, because people are like always changing and are so deep characters. Like, you could never totally understand another human. But the beauty and the magic is like in the try of trying to understand someone. But just know that you can't like ever actually understand someone else. I don't know, it's like it's the magic in between two people that's like the really important thing, I think.